Hey everybody, Jeremy here with Shade Tree Vintage Auto. Gonna work on the Dart a little bit since I've got the Merchmobile is registered and running and driving. Actually just drove it in, put fuel in it for the first time in a while. Now we're gonna work on this a little bit. Lots of things changed. I've got all new brake stuff for the front, new calipers, new lines, everything, including the lines that go across the body. We're going to actually do a compression test on the engine right now, and then I'm going to get ready to pull the engine and transmission out, redo the whole complete front suspension. I got a kit coming, new pitman arm, idler arm, everything like that. Then we're going to, at the same time, since the engine and everything is going to be out, I'm going to clean the engine compartment and paint it basically from the fender and that seam right back there down is all going to be painted and done nice. And hopefully after we do the compression test, we find that this engine is worth using without being rebuilt. I've got to have this car ready by mid-August, just for a personal thing. Really had a goal of getting ready in April, and well, it's long past April and here it's still sitting on jack stands. I did get the rear brakes all completed. Has brand new drums, all the internals is brand new. I've got new lines all the way across. You can kind of see them. So the rear brakes are all set. Front brakes will be set. Suspension's all going to be good. Once I get the engine put back in, all that's going to be good. Oh, while everything's out, I'm pulling the dash out. I'm going to paint the dash and detail it. Have a new dash pad for it. Tons of cool stuff. Gonna have a new headliner, new carpet. The interior is gonna be pretty fresh other than the seat covers for now. Hopefully that will happen soon, but I really just want to get this thing on the road. I just want to drive it and can't wait. Anyway, so stay tuned for what we're doing. So one thing I've always been told about doing a compression test is you're always gonna get more accurate reading when the engine is warm. So I went and fired it up. Gonna let it run for just a minute, and then I will actually start the compression test. Well, really good news. As you can see, we've got between 139 and 155. So right in that 15% that you want. Amazing, honestly. 155 to 139 on an engine this age. The engine shows really good oil pressure. So really all I'm going to do when I pull it out, the freeze plugs definitely need some love. So I'm gonna put freeze plugs, re-gasket everything, new exhaust manifold gaskets. Definitely going to do the exhaust, but I really want to paint it and make the engine look fresh. I want the engine compartment to look close to show quality. I want it to be really nice and clean, all the wires cleaned up. Like, I don't want the loose stuff like that. I worked really hard when I did the MSD to make it all fit in there. So really want it to look nice here. And the interior to look nice, but then I just want the rest of it to kind of be a beater. Anyway, so I'm not gonna do anything else tonight, but pretty soon this engine and trans, it's coming on out of there, and lots of things will happen as soon as that happens. Okay, so I have the seat and the carpet out. As you can see, the floor really doesn't look too bad. It's a little bit scaly down in that area, so I'll probably hit that with like a wire brush or something and then pour 15 it. Dash is going to come out next, but something I always love about old cars are the stories and the like little hidden things. For instance, right here, that is a through and hit bullet hole. You can see where it hit there, or exited the tunnel there and entered the tunnel there. So I did just text the gentleman that I bought the car from to see if he knows the story. And if I hear back from him on the story, I will definitely let you guys know. Something kind of funny is this is the second 340 Dart that I've owned that I found bullet holes in. So kind of a coincidence. Anyway, I'm gonna get back to work. Okay, since I have the interior pretty much all taken out, I'm gonna go ahead and pull the dash out so that I can paint it, put the new pad on, clean it up, and make sure everything's in good order. Now this sounds like a really complicated process, and it's not easy, but it's not terrible either. The worst part is you have to have the windshield out so you can get these bolts right here. And I believe they're just 3/8 bolts. You do need to pull the A-pillar trim out so that you can roll it. And basically once you pull that trim, you just undo the steering column so you can drop it. There's 2 bolts, 3 bolts. Yeah, 2 or 3 bolts underneath here you undo, and then you just loosen these bolts on each side and then undo those top ones like I said, and you can just kind of roll it out, and then you undo all the linkage and wiring from the back side. So it's not terrible, but it is a pain. Anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on all that. Basically the dash is ready to be pulled. There's a few clips and cables and stuff we're gonna have to undo. There's the aftermarket oil pressure gauge. We're gonna have to undo that. I've already undone the bulkhead at the firewall and pushed it inside, so there really shouldn't be too much for the wiring harness that we need to disconnect. It will all come out as one piece with the dash. Now right now I do just want to mention before I pull it, there are a lot of sharp edges on these dashes, so you can cut yourself very easily. So be really careful of that and just be aware. Also, I'm going to show you a couple other things before I pull it out. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and get it removed. Here's one of the things I wanted to show you really quick. As you can see on top of the glove box, there's pieces of the build sheet there. Now, try to save it as much as you can. Luckily, I have a pretty good one already, and I have a lot of the pieces that are probably from that exact one that's just fell through. But I'm going to go ahead and try to save it as much as possible. So this is the bulkhead I was talking about. Like I said, it's already pushed through. Just to make things easier, I am going to go ahead and just pull the steering column. I'm going to do that regardless, just so I can clean up the engine bay. I know I mentioned early on that I was going to paint the bay and everything like that. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that just yet or not. I just want to get the car going. I really just want to drive it. But anyway, so to pull the column, you have to undo the linkage down here on a column shift car. And then you've got this little piece you've got to press out right there. And it's kind of a pain, but we're going to get that done, and then dash should come right out. So now that the steering column is loose, you can see how much further the dash will drop. So you can get right behind it and unplug everything you need to unplug. I did do the speedometer already. You can see it just pretty much just fell out. So you can get to all those cables really easily. Just makes everything super simple. And then this all just comes out. You can disassemble the whole dash while it's sitting on like sawhorses or something, sand it, paint it, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. The gentleman I bought the car from told me that they had found a factory short block back in, I believe, the 90s to put in here, and found this tag behind the dash. How cool is that? New factory built short engine. So sounds like it's got a warranty block. Now that the dash is out, I'm going to be able to do a whole bunch of things that just need to be done, such as replace all these pieces of plastic on the windshield wipers. I'm actually going to put new seals and everything so they don't leak. I've already got that kit. I'm also going to use a pad and clean all of the rust up right there, paint that. I've got new foam for back there where the steering column goes through, as well as the bulkhead. And then any of these extra stupid wires, for whatever reason, that don't actually belong to the car, all of that's going to be cleaned up. One thing I will also suggest, always be sure to bag and label where everything goes when you take hardware out. I'm going to clean up the column and paint it. And with the dash out, it's really easy to get to everything. I'm going to completely disassemble the dash, and then I'm going to sand and paint the actual frame. I've got a new pad for it. We'll clean up all the gauge cluster, and let me flip it over. And with it out, it's really easy to get to all the back stuff. So these are the nuts to get the dash pad off. Almost impossible when the dash is in the car with cluster and everything. It is possible, but it's just a pain. Like I said, clean up all of this stuff that's not original or that I don't want, and put it back together. It will look really nice when it's all done, and then put it back in the car, and away you go. I'm back at it today. This is taking forever because between work and all my other projects I'm doing, I only get to work on this sometimes a few minutes at a time. Today though, it's a Saturday. I didn't get the video uploaded or finished by Thursday or Friday like I usually like to. So Cameron's on his way up, and we're gonna hurry and just do a ton of work on the car today. Get the engine and transmission out. I'm gonna finish getting the dash stripped. As you can see, I've got it most of the way, but there's still a few other little things I need to do. Hoping to maybe get the floor cleaned up in here and get it painted so that that part's done. Once I get the engine and trans out, probably next week, I'm going to take it on the trailer with a cherry picker and just spray it down really nice, get it all cleaned up, the engine and transmission. Do a little bit of work on those, mostly gaskets. Everything seems to be pretty good order other than that. And then get all of that back installed. I'm not sure if I'm going to get the engine bay done as much as I wanted to, as far as paint and freshen up and just make it look good. I really just want to get this car going and drive it. Next week's going to be, I'm not going to be able to do anything on the weekend because I've got a big thing going, which you guys will see some video of. Picked up another really cool car. It's a really interesting one, and I'm excited to show it to you and really excited to get it running. Anyway, I'm going to hurry and get to work, and then as soon as Cameron gets here, we're going to, like I said, get a whole bunch of other stuff done. It is time for the front clip to be removed, just for cleanup and everything, and so I don't damage it during the process of pulling the engine. Front clip is off, and luckily we only broke 3 bolts, which is pretty impressive. This is going to make it so much easier to do all the front brakes and suspension. Once the engine and trans is out, I think I'll grab the wrecker probably on the next episode that I work on this, and take the whole car in, spray the interior and the engine compartment down low, just soak it, spray it, get it as clean as possible, just make it that much nicer to work with, and then also the engine as well. Then we can start going back together. So as you can see, we've got a bunch of wasps here that are trying to find their house, and they've been really bad this week. It's been really hot. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and continue on. It's just about ready to come out. As you can see, all the wiring harness is gone, distributors out, carburetors off. just a few things underneath left, and then we'll be able to pull it out. Probably be finished for today because it's starting to get really hot. It's supposed to hit like 102 today. And as you can see, not a lot of shade around right here where I'm at. And it's a clear day, so it's definitely gonna get hot. See, the interior is pretty much pulled. Look at all this stuff. This is all for the front brakes and front suspension. Like, it's gonna be awesome. New shocks. That's a complete front end kit from PST, Pitman arm, idler, everything. Got new brake lines, there's new calipers, there's new master, all sorts of great stuff. And that's not even all of it. I've got rotors coming. They were supposed to be here today, but I haven't seen them yet. It's gonna be great. The car's gonna drive nice, I hope, and just be fun. It's all gonna be pretty much stock. I did get the polygraphite suspension kit, so it should handle a little better than stock. But really, I just want this car to be a stock driver. Well, I didn't quite get the engine out this episode. Didn't quite get as far as I wanted. Just mainly because it's so dang hot and allergies. And anyway, I don't want to make any more excuses. But I'm going to continue. I'm going to get the engine trans, everything pulled, and you will see it here in the future. The next couple episodes, I've got a couple little road trips planned. Hopefully they all go through how I'm planning. On the 25th is 1 year of YouTube for me. And I'm at just under 8,000 subscribers. I'm really hoping that if you guys haven't subscribed yet, if you would do so, it'd be awesome to hit 8,000 subscribers by my 1 year anniversary. Anyway, we're going to continue on this in a later episode. Like I said, I've got to have it running and driving mid-August, early September at the very latest. And I've got a ton of stuff to do. So, but we're going to do it. We're going to have this car driving. We're going to have the Falcon driving. I've got the Volare. I've got the van. September, there's a car show in Brigham City, Utah called Peach Days. And I want to have quite a few cars there. Hoping to see you all there. Thank you all for the support and have an absolutely wonderful day.